Whilst there may not be quite as many showers around today as we saw yesterday, there will still be a fair few around, and actually in the south there'll be a spell of more persistent rain pushing through. That's due to a front that's already started to make its way into the southwest overnight. Also, whilst we're here, I wanted to highlight another weather system waiting out in the west. This is going to bring some unsettled weather for many of us as we go through tomorrow. But back to the here and now, and yes, it's actually a bright, fine start for many places, especially towards the east, but across southern counties things are going to turn increasingly cloudy as that front makes its way eastwards across the country, and it is going to bring some heavy bursts of rain, quite persistent rain, and with that persistent rain it could be heavy at times, could be thundery as well, so watch out for that. Further north, it's a case of some showers, perhaps not as many showers as we saw yesterday, but nonetheless some could be a bit on the heavy side, and some thundery ones are possible, especially across some parts of Scotland, central western parts in particular, seeing some heavy ones, and even in the southwest actually, once that more persistent rain clears through, some heavy showers will follow in behind. Now there will be some blustery winds around, particularly in the showers, but on the whole temperatures not doing too badly. I mean, it's early September, looking at high teens, low 20s, feeling warm enough, I guess, in the shelter from those blustery winds, and if you catch any of those sunny breaks as well. Later on, we are going to see more persistent rain for a little while yet across the far east of England, eventually clearing away as we go early on in the evening. And then most of the showers are going to fizzle out and die away. So that will leave a drier spell for most of us, and actually staying largely dry across much of Scotland, even Northern Ireland and down the eastern side of England as well through much of the night. But towards the southwest, that weather system I highlighted at the start, that's pushing its way in. So things are going to turn wet and windy as we go towards the end of the night across much of Wales, central southwest England as well. Because of the unsettled weather that's pushing its way in, temperatures here not dropping particularly low, some places staying in the mid, possibly even high teens, but further north and east a fresher feel to things first thing tomorrow morning, particularly across some parts of Scotland where it will probably be a few degrees cooler than this morning. Then that wet and windy weather will feed its way across many places as we go through tomorrow. So watch out, some heavy rain, some strong winds, making journeys to the first day back at school for many of us a little bit unpleasant. But worth noting, across the far west of Scotland, actually here, not really seeing much of the rain, if any, and actually staying largely bright and fine. Most places, though, having a bit of an unsettled day, albeit across southern areas, as the more persistent heavy rain clears away towards the north, things turning a bit dry with a few showers dotted around though. Some sunny breaks breaking through, and in those sunny breaks temperatures again just about getting into the low 20s. Obviously though, we've got to factor in those strong winds which will be, well, reaching gale force, particularly around some southern parts, and all the time further north temperatures peg back a few degrees and feeling pretty unpleasant at times with the wet and at times windy weather that's arriving as well. Later on this week, well, Thursday is going to be a showery day for many of us, so not persistent rain as such, but some heavy bursts of rain coming and going with something a bit drier and brighter in between. And then by Friday, well, a bit of a northwest-southeast split. Towards the northwest, it's looking pretty wet. Towards the southeast, it's looking largely dry and at times quite sunny, probably the driest, brightest day of this week. Exactly where that boundary between the northwest, southeast is, well, that's still to be determined. And then on Saturday, still wettest towards northwestern parts of the UK, but perhaps a bit more cloud than we're going to have through Friday. With that, temperatures, well, they're near average for the time of year. So if you do catch any of that sunshine, well, it's going to feel warm enough, but always more unpleasant, as you would expect when it's raining and it's blowing a strong wind. Now, Honor will be back later on this afternoon with our latest deep dive. She'll be looking at the new storm names that have been announced. So you'll want to make sure you catch that on our YouTube channel. Bye-bye.